Hello, yabaseo, all my beautiful people. Welcome to the alternate point of view. My name is Tracy Lee, and I will be talking to you today a little bit about a person that I don't know a lot about. And I don't think anyone does except the people who are very close to him. So, first of all, I want to say welcome to the channel. I hope that you are liking these videos, subscribing to this channel, and I hope that you are all able to please buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/racy0000, or you can cash app. All of the money that I get, because I am not a monetized channel, goes towards helping people like Michael Jackson-Bolanos, who are we going to talk about today, get money to either get out of jail or start a new life. And it also helps for me to get things like affidavits, police reports, things like that, so that I can try to help figure out who actually killed the person that some people are being accused of. And it helps keep this channel going since this channel is not monetized. So I would greatly appreciate any support. And I am very, very thankful and happy for everyone who watches this channel, tunes in, even if it's just for a second. I hope that you like this content. So let's get into who is Michael Jackson-Bolanos? Well, that's a really good question. I would like to know who Michael Jackson-Bolanos is. I can tell you a little bit about what I have noticed about Michael Jackson-Bolanos in the courtroom, and I can tell you who Michael Jackson-Bolanos is not. So let's just start from the beginning, okay? I have been doing a series about murder on Joliet Place. And the series has been focused heavily on Samantha Wall. She is, at the end of the day, the victim of the crime that was committed on October 21st, 2023. She is the one who was murdered that night. But Michael Jackson-Bolanos somehow has also become a victim in this horrific crime that happened on October 21st, 2023. And Michael has become a victim because he just happened to be a guy walking around downtown Detroit on the night that Samantha Wall was murdered. And not through any fault of his own, just being a guy walking around downtown Detroit. Now, am I going to sit here and say that Michael was doing saintly things? Was he feeding the poor and the hungry and giving to the homeless? No. But he was not murdering anyone. Michael has come from, I'm not sure what his background is. I don't want to assume, so I'm not going to. Michael is a young entrepreneur, 28 years old. He loves music. He loves his girlfriend. He loves the fact that he was able to start rebuilding his life. He had done some things in the past when he was younger, and he served his time for that. He accepted stolen property when he was younger, and he got a pretty stiff sentence for that. I would think 4 to 5 years is a pretty stiff sentence, considering you look at things like Hannah Gutierrez in New Mexico, who got 18 months for manslaughter. 18 months for manslaughter, accepted stolen property, 5 years. See the difference? Just saying. Did I mention that Michael Jackson-Bolanos is a black guy? Why is that relevant? Well, we're going to find out why that's relevant, because it makes a huge difference in this case. And I want to preface this by saying that I normally don't look at these situations by race, because I try to, I guess in my little bubble, want to think that these things don't happen. I have wanted to believe that, we're actually investigating things the right way. I want to believe in our justice system. I want to give our detectives, our cops, our lawyers, the system, the judges, everything the benefit of the doubt. But this is too blatant to ignore. And I'm making this video because I'm hoping it's going to raise awareness for a man who has been wrongfully accused. And I say this because I feel it and I believe it and I know it from the bottom of my heart. And I know that his attorneys know it. And I know that the public in Detroit knows it. And the reason why is because, again, as I've mentioned in my videos of my series of Samantha Wall, I say this because Samantha Wall was in the headlines. She was everywhere. She had the president looking at her case. And no one, and I mean no one, wasn't looking at this case. The president, again, was looking to see who in the world could possibly have done this to this woman, and who would do this to Samantha Wall, the president of a Jewish synagogue, the only freestanding Jewish synagogue in Detroit, Michigan, a Democrat, a politician, all of these things 2 weeks after the Hamas invaded Israel. I mean, the president, KJP, did a press conference about this. It was a huge ordeal. And it became not a huge ordeal when her ex-boyfriend confessed to murdering her. And it just seemed strange that once her ex-boyfriend confessed to murdering her, it stopped being a huge deal. And why was that? Because the ex-boyfriend is a Jewish guy. And that stopped being a big deal. And then suddenly no one was watching. No one. The only people who have been paying attention to this trial is my channel and a couple of other small channels. And this wonderful lady, now this is Jeff Herbstman, the guy who confessed to killing Samantha, who we just saw. But the only other person who has been covering this is a wonderful paper called The Voice of Detroit. And Diane Bulkowski, who seems to be the voice of Detroit. I think this is her picture. I might be wrong. I don't know. There's a lot of Diane Bulkowskis who pulled up, so I think this is her. I've reached out to her. I want to get with this voice of Detroit because they're the only ones talking about this story. They're the only ones who are listening and speaking out. So Voice of Detroit, if you're in Detroit, if you don't know Detroit, if you don't know anyone to talk to, look up Voice of Detroit. I'm talking about Michael Jackson-Bolanos on this video because I want people to see that Michael Jackson-Bolanos is being railroaded. He is being left in the dust. He is being forgotten. He's not even being remembered because this guy is being planted as guilty when he is not. Now, I will say this. The jury came back after much deliberation. He had several charges against him. He had premeditated murder, which they found him not guilty. He had second degree, I believe, murder, which oddly enough, they didn't find him. They were deadlocked. I'm surprised they didn't choose the lesser charge. And then they found him deadlocked on burglary. So they were deadlocked on burglary, and they did find him guilty for lying to the police. So I find it strange that you found him not guilty on the premeditated, but found him a deadlock on the lower charges. So I don't understand how that happened. So deadlocked on, sorry, it was still first degree. First degree. Both of these are first degree charges. So first degree charges are very hard to decide because they mean intent. So this prosecution, I don't know if it's because of Michigan law or what the deal is, but he was charged first degree premeditated murder and first degree murder with intent, which is kind of the same thing because you kind of are intending to kill someone. And then he had first degree burglary. The jury could not decide on either of those charges. They found him not guilty on premeditated murder and couldn't decide on the other two charges, but did find him guilty for lying to police because he was out and about that night doing what, he said he was doing, which was checking cars, but he said he wasn't. So that's what they found him guilty on. It's very disappointing. It's taken me, and I'm sure it's taken his family, his attorneys, even Samantha's family, a long time to process this. But I want to say that I don't know a lot about Michael. I know that when I very first saw him in the courtroom on the camera, I saw a microphone tattooed on his hand, an old school microphone. And I knew that Michael was a music lover. And this was before I saw any of the interrogation videos because he was talking about he managed a couple of artists. So Michael loves music. I know that. I know that Michael is a young guy. He's in his 20s. He's the same age as my oldest son. And when I look at Michael, I can see that could be anybody's son sitting there. That could be you. That could be me. That could be your child, your grandchild. It could be anyone, because the way they painted the evidence to make it match Michael's cell phone pattern downtown, it's sad. Michael had a girlfriend. He was building his life. He was a manager at a store. I mean, he was just minding his own business, working, trying to build his life back up, and to have it all ripped out from under him, like in the middle of the night. Could you imagine being at your home? You're just in this little apartment in downtown Detroit. You're just barely scraping by. Your girl's working 2 jobs. You're working 2 jobs. And then your whole life, it's like, why are you picking on the little guy? Like, what did this person do to have you just take everything and ruin their life and charge them with murder? And a case that went from being top headline news all over the world is now hush hush silent. And Court TV has literally just picked this case up, and they didn't pick it up until he took the stand, by the way. So shame on Court TV for not highlighting this, and shame on Detroit, right? Detroit is all up in the chats, but they're not out there on the streets like talking about free Michael, justice for Michael. And yes, we want justice for Samantha, but this guy is facing life. He's facing forever. He's facing losing everything. He's already lost everything. And I can just tell you, I don't know Michael, but I know he didn't do this. I know he's innocent. I know that he is a good kid, and I call him a kid because he's the same age as my son. But I'm just saying that I'm calling an action. I'm calling for action. I'm calling to please help this young man, because this could be your young man. We're always talking about racial tensions. We're talking about, which again, I never have looked at this and thought, how they have the sayings like black man walking, This, you just walking down the street. I've never thought those things were true. I've never have. I've always thought, everybody, because I listen to other, I listen to things, but I've never thought that. But then I look at this and I think, holy crap, this literally, like, it's like he was just walking down the street and they just plucked him up and was like, boom, you're in jail. And now you're being charged with murder. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being taken into the jail and being talked to about sunglasses, and you're being charged with murder? And then you're being critiqued. Like, every move you make is being critiqued, and you have people in chats that are talking smack about you, and they don't even know you. They don't know you. They don't know who you are. They're just talking smack about how he moves, how he talks, how he dresses, everything. Like, this guy's life is on the line. He's losing everything. And I am coming to whomever will watch this video and asking, the money that you give me goes to Michael. This money is for Michael. So I'm asking if you will donate. Buy me a coffee, buy me a lot of coffees so that this money can go to help Michael, because I really believe Michael is innocent. A lot of people believe Michael is innocent. I've seen it in the chats, but I need to see more. I want to see more people just stand up and fight for Michael's freedom. We are out here fighting for people who are not with us, which is really sad. Millions of dollars have been raised for organizations that don't give back when we need an organization or someone to come up and give to someone who deserves it and needs it and is alive to do something with it. So Michael is 28 years old. He's a young man. He has his whole life ahead of him. He wants the opportunity to have his whole life ahead of him. He deserves that opportunity. The jury was deadlocked for days, and the judge kept pushing them to make a decision. We are so very thankful to God, Lord mighty above, that the jury came back with not guilty on first-degree premeditated murder. We kind of figured they were going to come back with the guilty on the lying to the police. But the other two charges, it should have been a given to be not guilty. If he didn't kill her in the first degree, how could he have possibly killed her? For the others with intent, it doesn't make sense. So I just ask that if this does go back to trial again, I ask that the next jury pays attention to Jeff and his testimony. I ask that they understand and they see that there is something going on here, that you don't have a white guy testify and say on the stand that I killed my ex-girlfriend, but I forgot about it. And then you have this black guy here who was just in the area, and there's zero proof that he did this. And I will just also say, a lot of people keep asking about the blood on the sleeve of his jacket. These two little teeny tiny microscopic bits of blood on dots, microscopic dots, 2 dots, microscopic on his jacket. They were mixtures of blood, mixtures of Samantha's blood and another male person's blood, not Michael Jackson-Bolanos. Also, these items were tested in the same lab with Jeff Herbstman's items, within the same lab with Samantha's blood, also on the same table. So I know that these items are put in the same room as the other items. They are tested by the same technician. These are commonalities that where there can be some cross-contamination. So these are things people need to think about. You think it doesn't happen, but it happens. It happens way more often than not. So I'm doing this video for Michael. I've done an entire series on Samantha, and I want to get to know Samantha more as a person because she is the one who is dead. But Michael his life is on the line and he is innocent. And Michael, again, I do not know him. But he is sitting in jail and has been sitting in jail. And there are other people who have been charged with murder and been able to walk around free. I don't know. Let's see the Black Swan ballerina case, for instance. She's free. Karen Reed, she was free. Lots of people who have been charged with murder and they are out walking the streets until their trial is over. And also Karen Reed, mistrial, free. Michael Jackson-Bolanos, mistrial, in jail. So why can he not? He's not a flight risk. He needs to work and save his money so he can start his life anew. And since he cannot do that, I'm asking my viewers, I am asking anyone who will listen and anyone who believes that injustice is absolutely wrong and that justice is really, really blind, and anyone who believes that you are innocent until you are proven guilty. He was not proven guilty, and he is still sitting in jail. So I'm asking my viewers to please, if you have not liked already, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. But if you will please buy a coffee, or you can send to my Cash App, I will put it in the description. It's rolling across the screen. But all this is going to go to Michael. So we are collecting money for Michael so that he can have something to look forward to when he finally does get out of jail. And again, I wanted this to be something about who he was. I've looked everywhere. I don't even know what high school Michael went to. I don't even know anything, because everything that I've looked up about Michael is pertaining to this case. They have done nothing but paint Michael in a negative light. Actually, I don't think they have researched who Michael is. All they have done is tie him to this, and that is all. And I don't want that to be Michael's legacy. I don't want that to be the only thing they talk about when they talk about Michael Jackson-Bolanos. I want people to talk about Michael Jackson-Bolanos as someone who loves music, is a young man who is trying to survive every day and trying to get back to his life, and the woman who loves him and his family, and someone who is strong and is just trying to be able to get through each day and is appreciative and grateful. And I know he's all of those things. And I know that he has a kind heart and he's soft-spoken, and he's not the type of person that has this kind of anger and hate in him. And he is a child of God and he loves God. So I know that. So if you have any doubts about where your donations would be going, don't have any doubts, because Michael loves God. He believes that Jesus has a plan for him. And this is just one little bump in the road, one more bump in the road he's got to get over in order to get to the other side, and that is freedom. So this is to free Michael. We've got to free Michael. So I appreciate everyone who's been on this journey. Let's not stop. It's not over yet. And that is the plan, is to free Michael. And we are going to pray that the prosecution is going to understand that they never had enough evidence to charge him in the first place. So we're going to pray that next Thursday at noon, when they go back to court to decide if they're going to charge Michael and take him to trial again, that they are not going to do it. That pray that Kim Worthy does not do this again. Pray that Kim Worthy sees the error of her ways and will not take Michael back to trial. So let's do that. And any Detroiters out there, come on, guys. Show me your Detroit love. Get out there. Free Michael. show up. I'm sorry. I'm in Texas and I'm doing this from Texas, you guys. So I need some people in Detroit out there. You guys picket, protest, peacefully protest to free Michael and just show Kim Worthy. Reach out to the Voice of Detroit. Let them know that you are watching, you are listening, and you understand, and that they are that they're an independent paper. So please let the Voice of Detroit know that you know, and just share this channel, share it with everybody, share this video, get the word out about Michael. He needs to be free. I appreciate everyone who watches this channel, who shares these videos. This is very important, you guys. This is someone's life on the line. This is very, very important. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.